Hi friends, this is Christina of A Knitter's Life here, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this big, amazing package that I got in the mail. I got from Louet a July fiber pack. Louet has been doing this really interesting thing of putting together some really interesting varieties of fiber, and they're offering different fiber packs every month to spinners, either to gear up or for Spinzilla or Tour de Fleece, or just to try out new fibers or to kind of enhance your fiber stash. This was fun for me because I don't really have a fiber stash, and to receive this box of fiber all at one time, it's like instantaneous stash. But it's not going to be sitting in my closet for too long because it's gorgeous. What you get in this fiber pack, this was the July fiber pack, you get a full pound of this beautiful gray Gotland. This gray Gotland is ready to spin, I mean right now. It's just so light and fluffy. It doesn't have to be drafted. It's absolutely gorgeous. Isn't it pretty? I was thinking of a gray sweater. Wouldn't that be gorgeous for my little boys? But not only that do you get a half a pound of this beautiful Coopworth. And again, it's light and fluffy. It's like hugging a little bear, hugging a little fuzzy cuddly bear. You also get half a pound of the merino, this dyed merino top, and it is very fluffy as well. I'm always checking, are the fiber that's coming to you, is it felted in any way? But it isn't. This was really light and airy and fluffy and ready to go. A full half pound of that. You get, in this July fiber pack, a full half pound of flax. Have you ever spun with flax? It is so interesting to work with. This is a lot of fun too. This is wool and flax carded together. And this is like a sliver, so it's really nice and easy, broken down, ready to spin. You also get a half a pound of this beautiful Optima, which is like working with silk. It has such a sheen to it. Can you see the sheen? Oh my goodness, it's gorgeous. And then you get 4 ounces of this lovely fluff called cashmere. Yes, you get 4 ounces of cashmere. Isn't that gorgeous? It's so beautiful. So you get quite a bit of fiber. Here's some more of the gray Gotland. You get 3 pounds, 10 ounces of fiber. Yeah, that's a lot. And it's at a really wonderful price. I will let you go to their website and look through, and I'll provide links down below. But it's below 50% off the retail price, which is really, you guys, for that amount of fiber, quite a really good deal. I was playing around trying to think, how do I want to use this fiber? What do I want to do? What are some of the projects that I want to make with it? So I will provide a link down below. I've listed on my blog several different project options that you can do with this fiber. You could you could spin them all up individually and ply them just with themselves so that you have skeins of each color, or you can mix them. And what I'm going to do in the next video is show you how to make these beautiful fluffy Rolags with nothing more than a old knitting needle or a dowel. That's all you need. If you don't have hand carders, you don't need them. You can just use a dowel. It's quite amazing. So I have decided, I've spun up several different little tester skeins to see which blends I like the best. You can see here, aren't they pretty? Just comes out so tweedy and speckly. I have decided that I want to do 2 different larger projects. Like I said, you could do several different smaller projects, but I'm going to do 2 larger projects. I am going to take the Coopworth, the Gotland, the wool and flax silvers, and put them together into Rolags with a little bit of the flax. and just a touch of the flax to make a beautiful blanket to go across the back of the couch. And I'll show you the pattern that I'm going to use in my blog post at aknitterslife.blogspot.com. Then I'm going to make these Rolags out of the dyed merino top, the cashmere, and the Optima to make a beautiful cowl or shawl for myself. So I'm going to show you now how to make the Rolags, and then head over after you finish that video to aknitterslife.blogspot.com so that you can see some of the project suggestions that I have for you guys. Okay friends, when you make a Rolag, what you want to do is just figure out the different fibers that you have, the short staples and the long staples, and you're going to layer long, short, long, short, long, short. We can use this Gotland, even though it's a carded fiber rather than a top. It does stick really nicely together, and it is long enough to use as a bottom layer. So since I have the most of the Gotland, I'm going to start and use the Gotland as the bottom layer. And you're going to just pull the Gotland out. Just grab the tips and then pull. You want to pull out a very thin, wispy layer, not thick, just something that you can see through, and then layer it. The Gotland here I'm going to layer in 2 layers, one above and one below, and then I'm going to take a longer fiber. So this Optima is beautiful, it's very silky, and it is a bit longer. So we're going to take this, I'm going to keep it low to the fiber that's already down because it has a tendency to want to fly away with the slightest breeze. And if it's low to the fiber, there we go, it will stick down there, kind of like Velcro. So again, I'm just grabbing the very tips of this Optima and pulling out a very thin layer. Now I'm going to put some of this lovely brown, dark brown Coopworth. I'm going to layer that on top of that Optima, and again just pull out a very fine see-through layer just by grabbing the very tips and pulling. There we go. And then I'm going to layer some of this wonderful wool and flax blend. It is fantastic and so pretty to work with, and it spins up in such a pretty way. Now I'm going to take the dowel that I have. This is actually an old knitting needle that lost its tip here, but it does the job very nicely. So I'm going to lay that over just the ends here, and then I'm going to fold the ends up onto themselves, and imagine that they're going to stick there just like Velcro. It's wonderful. And then I'm going to start rolling. I'm going to go roll up and up and up and give it one last roll in one direction, and then it's ready to pop off. And there's your finished Rolag. It's quite amazing. It's beautiful. Now when I got all of these fibers, I kind of spun a few up, made a few Rolags, and just wanted to experiment with what they looked like spun up before I decided on a project. And I would highly suggest that you do that too. Make a few Rolags, combine different fibers, and see how you like it, what you like about each combination. These are singles that I spun up. This was the dark brown Coopworth, the dyed merino top, some of the wool and flax, and then some of the Optima too. So this was another single that I did. This had more of the raw flax right here in it, as well as the dark Coopworth, the gray Gotland, and the wool and flax blend, and that spun up really nicely. That kind of spun up more as a thick and thin, you can see, which was really, really fun to spin with. Then another one that I did here is very similar combination. This did not have the flax top in it. This just had the wool and flax blend, the gray Gotland, the dark brown Coopworth, the Optima, and that added a little bit of silkiness to it, and it made up a really nice tweedy effect. Definitely this would be great sweater yarn. This with the flax in it, you'd probably want to use it for a garment that is going to be worn on top of something else. So with the flax in it, you probably won't want to make it into a cowl. It would be great in mittens if you were going to line the mittens or something like that. So I was trying to figure out, okay, what kind of two projects or what kind of projects do I want to do with this lovely July fiber pack? And I came upon two projects that I think I'd really like to do. And that is make a blanket for my living room out of this yarn. So make up a bunch of Rolags and then spin them up, and then I will make it plied. I'll do a 2-ply, and it'll be like a heavy worsted yarn. And then I wanted to make a hat and a cowl using this beautiful merino, the Optima, and the cashmere, because they go so nicely together. I mean, just look at these Rolags. So I'm going to show you those two different options and how I'm going to do it. So for the hat and the cowl, I'm going to take this merino and I am going to put it down first. So it's going to go down in small, thin layers, just pulling from the tips. Nice, thin, see-through layers. Okay, now I'm going to get the Optima. This Optima likes to fly away, so I hold it very close to the other fibers and let it stick down there. Once it's sticking there, it doesn't go away so much. But you can see the layers are very thin and see-through. And that just makes it nice for when you're spinning. Now I'm going to take this, the cashmere, and the cashmere has very short fibers. So you would not want to use the cashmere as your first layer. You could use the cashmere for the second or third layers of your Rolag. So it just likes to come away in shorter pieces. So I'm going to layer those on there. There. Now I'm going to put my dowel here at the end of the fibers and flick them over so that they stay, and then go ahead and tuck and roll. There we go. And then there's that done. So I will probably go ahead and use up all of the merino and the Optima and the cashmere, making these kind of Rolags. Now for my blanket project for my living room, I actually think it would be so nice to sit in front of the fireplace during the winter time with this blanket on over my shoulders or over my knees. Can you tell I've already imagined myself in the project? So I'm going to take the gray Gotland and I'm going to pull it out in very thin pieces here and lay it down as my first layer. Then I'm going to take the lovely wool and flax blend, and I'm going to pull that out in nice thin layers, and you can see it's so much longer than the gray Gotland, and that's partly due to the flax that's in the fiber. So then I'm going to take this dark Coopworth and pull it out in very thin wispy bits and lay that on top. Okay, now I am ready to roll. Lay the fibers over the top of each other and roll. There we go. And then you can just pull it off, and you can see just the blend of the fibers. It's just going to be gorgeous. So I've made already a bunch of these. You can see them here. They're going to be so much fun to spin up, and each of them are going to be a little different. And I think that that adds a little bit of interest and fun to your spinning. So again, I'll make this a 2-ply. So I will spin up singles and then ply them together before I use them for my project. So head on over to aknitterslife.blogspot.com, and I will be posting some pattern links to some patterns that I will be using, and also some suggestions for maybe patterns that you could use to make out of very similar to Rolags. So I hope you have fun. I hope that you enjoy making these Rolags and enjoy the July fiber pack. See you next time.